Hello, my name is Rabbi Sokol, and I'm wearing a paisley tie. Tino k'sha'achrim b'yamav. When an infant reaches the age when other infants of that age, yochlin la'ochel kazayis mimenei dagan, are capable of eating kazayis of one of the 5 species of grain. Olive-sized portion, size of an olive. Afilo ad yedei tabshil, even if only in a cooked dish. Bikte shigado ocher shiur paras, in a time frame that a adult could eat a half loaf of bread. So, an infant, a baby. I know. I'm just going through this with my kids right now. Well, I'm not, because they can eat anything right now. But I remember when they were at the age of eating, an olive size. I'm going to use like the Greek olive size, just to be sure. Not, the American olive size, the Greek olive size. As long as it takes them to eat that. Now, with today, we have so many different baby foods and formula and whatever. So it's at the time, I guess, when a child gets their first tooth. They say today, every single day they come up with a different law regarding infants, how they should sleep and how they should eat. On the back, on the front, on the back, on the front. Every generation they change it. But when a kid gets his first tooth, they're able to eat more solid foods. Is baby food included? I guess when they're old enough that they don't have to 100% rely on feeding from the mother or from formula, when they can start eating solid foods. This is what I think the Mishnah Berurah and Nigros Moshe are talking about. It's written, Sefer Migdal and Sefer Migdal Gon Marav Morenu Harav Yaakov Emden Ben Tzvi Zechrono Levracha Hainu Kishasa Ben Shana, that the stage is reached when the child becomes 1 year old. Okay, so 1 year. Rachakim Misaso Misaaso Mifnei Regalov. One must distance himself when engaging in sacred matters from the child's from the excrement from his urine, So his dirty diaper. But Tova Yashar, it is a good and worthy practice. L'rachi gam, it's also katan ben shmona yamim, to distance oneself even when the excrement of an 8-day-old infant. So if you want to use the stringency, the 8-day-old infant is when you after the bris milah, or for a girl, count 8 days, whatever it is, to distance yourself from that. My Rabbi in Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Yitzchak Goldstein, would say that the excrement really starts to smell bad when a child's able to eat bread. When they start eating bread, the excrement really starts to smell bad. Before that, of course it produces an odor, but it's not a potent odor as when the child starts to eat bread or grains.
I remember that stuff changed now. When the kids start, it's really for when they stop breastfeeding. Wouldn't that be the?
Yeah. Well, right now a person can still be a baby can still be nursed till 8 years old. You have these mothers who are too afraid to let go of their children, and they still nurse their children. Now, obviously, nursing is a beautiful thing, and it gives the child antibodies, and it gives the child builds up the immune system. It should be the main source for children, and unfortunately, sometimes women cannot nurse babies the whole time. I guess the octo mom was unable to nurse all 8 of her children every single time they were hungry. It's impossible. So that's why they have formula, which is not as good as the nourishment that the baby would get from the mother's milk, but it still gives them what they need.
Is there a recommended time in the social times of when it's generally good to wean a child? My kids
There is a time. And different rabbis hold differently. And I think it's when a child reaches the age of 3, they start producing a memory, like a real memory. You want to stop before that. Most people hold by 2 years old. Most rabbis hold by 2 years old.
Is there a too young age that they say?
Well, I mean, you consult your doctor. I know when my kids were in the NICU, when they were when they were born at 29 weeks, as much mother's milk as possible was amazing, and it was very, very important for their growth and their development. I say consult your doctor, consult your midwife, consult someone who's more knowledgeable than I am in this. But I know a different rabbi said 2 years old, but every single child is different.
Today's world being different as far as for working women also, that was the effect I think why.
Well, this is something we can get to privately, but thank you today.